Hello everyone, welcome to Majesty 2, the Fantasy Kingdom sim. This is a real-time strategy game, and it's one with indirect control. And what I mean by that will be explained during the campaign, so let's not waste any time and dive right into the game. We'll start a new campaign.
Ardania. Glorious Ardania. For the last 5 centuries, descendants of the great king have sat upon this throne. Indeed, 'twas the great king, our first ruler, who united the lands from the southern seas to the northern fields. He whose blade was the death of 1,000 foes. And each king thereafter followed the tradition, slaying dragons, hunting down necromancers, and exterminating legions of goblins and rats. Thus, each in their time came to be known as great. But our good King Leonard was born to hard times. The necromancers of old had long since been vanquished, and the rats had grown small and pitiful. And as he grew older, our king came to fear the worst, that his portrait might never hang in the hall of the great kings. Though he had yet to prove his mettle, the blood of a hero ran swift in his veins. Thus, our brave king, in his wisdom, determined that he would summon up the most terrible Baron of Hell. For indeed, all of Ardania would sing the praises of any mortal who could slay such a beast. And so, applying all their skill and concentration, the court mages performed the terrible ritual. And the demon lord did appear. Leonard never wavered, but stood locked in his deadly contest for 5 long days. But alas, in the end, the demon beast prevailed. And so that spawn of hell took Leonard's place on the throne. Since then, many princes and dukes have perished in futile effort to destroy the beast. Darkness and despair have fallen over Ardania. But now I have found you, your majesty, the last heir of the great king's bloodline. You, our only hope. Your kingdom awaits you, sire.
So here we are. As you've heard, we are the descendant of the last king of Ardania. And Ardania is currently ruled by a demon. So what we have to do is unify the land and defeat the demon. So yeah, let's not waste any time and dive right into the tutorial. The Royal Advisor's Mansion.
Greetings, your majesty. Welcome to my humble mansion. Centuries ago, it was granted to my family by one of the great rulers of Ardania. We all have hope you shall become one of the great kings yourself. But first, you must learn the secrets of statecraft. My mansion will be just fine for this purpose. It's seen better days. I had planned to put it on the market, maybe look for something a little cozier. On the water, perhaps. Your Majesty wouldn't happen to know a good real estate agent, would you? The problem is, wolves have recently infested the neighborhood. They keep eating my chickens and knocking over my garbage cans. Why, I've had 3 stewards quit this very week. The first part of your training will be to deal with these pests, your Majesty. Hopefully before the price drops too low.
Okay, here's our first mission. Defend our Sean Connery-style advisor's mansion from hungry wolves. Yeah, it will get a little more epic later on.
A new quest for you, your Majesty. First, your Majesty, your cities must be protected. Start with the construction of a guardhouse. Once you've chosen an appropriate site, your loyal peasants will begin construction. Peasants are the main labor force of the kingdom, your majesty. Keep an eye upon wandering monsters, as they're apt to make a snack of them.
As you can see, I can order my subjects to build a watchtower, but I'm not doing it myself, so I only have so and so many peasants, so if I order them to construct a lot of buildings at once, they'll do it slowly, and while they build up my city, they will also construct new houses, and these houses give me additional income and also additional peasants. So let's just speed up the game a little bit, so don't have to wait all that long.
Your Majesty, it is not becoming for the king to take to the battlefield himself. All the great deeds of the king are facilitated by the hands of your stalwart heroes. Heroes can be hired in guilds. I'd advise you to build a Rangers Guild, sire.
So yeah, let's do that. Let's build a Rangers Guild. These Rangers are basically based on the Dungeons & Dragons Rangers, as are most units in this game.
Not bad for a start, Your Majesty. Once your peasants have finished building the guild, we'll start hiring heroes.
So as you can see, my peasants constructed another peasant home, because I expanded my city a little bit, and this will give me additional income, and also allow me to have more peasants work on more buildings at once. So my Rangers Guild is finished, and I can build Rangers now. I can build up to 3, as you can see here. And I'm not going to control these Rangers. These Rangers are just like the Palace Guard or the Tax Collector or the Peasants. I can only advise them to do stuff, but I can never directly control them. Let's build 3 at once.
A new quest for you, Your Majesty. I'd advise you to upgrade the guild, Your Majesty. Special training will be available to your heroes once upgrades are completed.
Okay, let's do that.
Hi-ho.
And speed up the game a little more.
A new quest for you, Your Majesty. You'll need to entice your heroes to serve you, Your Majesty. Give them a task and set a reward for its accomplishment. Different heroes like different assignments. Rangers, for example, like to explore new territories. Set an explore flag to encourage them to discover new lands. Your Highness, our research is complete.
Okay, yeah. I can advise my heroes to do stuff via flags. I can set attack flags on monsters or monster lairs. I can also set warning flags to prevent my heroes from going to an area, and I can, as the advisor mentioned, set explore flags, which I'm going to do now. And Rangers, they're explorers, so they like to explore stuff. So I'm going to set a flag here, and I'm also going to assign a reward to it, because if there's no reward, my heroes won't be motivated to do anything.
Good work, sire. Later, you'll learn to set bounties on your enemies' heads, flags for protection, and even flags to warn your heroes of danger. It's time to replenish your treasury, sire. I'd suggest you order the construction of a marketplace, the foundation of the kingdom's economy. With a brisk trade, your tax collectors will bring more money to the treasury.
Yes, you can see, the marketplace gives me a considerable income boost, especially worth as much as 5 peasant homes, and also allows me to sell items to the heroes, and when they buy items from me, I'll get my money back, and my heroes benefit from buying items, so pretty good deal.
Your Majesty, a new building is complete. Your Majesty, you should order the traders to sell health potions at the marketplace. Heroes would gladly buy them to heal themselves in battle. It's a profitable venture, sire. A new quest for you, Your Majesty. You know, Your Majesty, your heroes each have their own personalities. Some like to hunt, some like to fight, and others like to care for their comrades in arms. You must learn to use these inclinations for the benefit of your kingdom. Order your peasants to build the Clerics Guild. Its disciples will heal your other heroes. Moreover, With a cleric's guild, you can learn the ancient healing magic of Ardania and directly intervene in your hero's well-being. Your Majesty, a new building is complete.
So we've got a cleric's guild now, so we can build clerics. All clerics are female for some reason, and they're basically the cliché healer girls from fantasy games. They're okay fighters, and they're ranged, very good against undead, and they can heal other heroes, so they're one of the most important kind of heroes, and they're among my favorites. And in the cleric's guild, it can also research the Sacred Heal, and it's your Majesty's spell. So this spell is not for my heroes. This spell is the one I can use by paying a little money and directly intervene in what happens on the map.
Research is complete. Right, sire, that's the spell. Now you can heal the wounded without leaving your throne. It's just one of the many wonders you'll discover on your way to the throne of Ardania.
So, before I use the healing spell, as you can see, we have a sewer entrance here. Now that's because my city grew, and when that happens you'll get those sewer entrances, and these will spawn rats and dire rats. It's a little bit annoying because these can destroy your buildings and probably also kill a tax collector or a peasant, but they're not very strong, and they will provide some experience for low-level heroes. So while it can be annoying to have these sewer entrances, they can also be beneficial, and usually they're not too bad. You'll only have 2 or 3 of them, and those rats are really weak compared to all the other monsters we have. So as you can see, we've got our healing spell here now. I don't really need to heal any of my heroes now, but it's an objective, so I'll just do it. I'll heal this guy here.
The quest is completed, sire. I believe, Your Majesty, that you are ready to fight some wolves. I've ordered the peasants to remove the stone barrier that blocks the way to the forest. Set a bounty on the destruction of the wolves' dens by using an attack flag. Only your heroes can accomplish this task.
Yeah, this is another monster lair, and unlike the sewer entrance, this one can be destroyed. So if we click on it, we will see it will spawn up to 3 wolves. So, and if we destroy it, it will spawn another 3 wolves, no matter how many wolves are already on the map. So when you order your heroes to destroy a monster lair, keep in mind that it will spawn monsters afterwards. So our cleric is already engaging the wolves, and because we set 1,000 gold pieces as a reward flag here, we get the interest of 3 heroes. Let's just raise it to 3,000 because we have some money. That should get the attention of almost all our heroes. Yeah, all 6 heroes are now focusing on this lair. And our rangers, they like to fight these wild creatures like wolves or bears, and they also like to destroy their lairs, so these heroes are pretty good for the job.
The quest is completed, sire. A tremendous victory, sire. Well, perhaps I exaggerate a bit, but it was well played. Already the real estate value for my mansion has increased. You have great potential, Your Majesty. Onward to victory and the throne of Ardania.
Okay, that's it. This was just a tutorial mission, but no worries, this game will get a lot harder later on. So here we can see how many days have passed, how many gold we've collected, how many monsters we've killed, and how many buildings we destroyed, etc, etc. It doesn't really do anything, it just gives you an idea how epic this mission was. And after winning the mission, you can select a so-called Lord. And if you turn a hero into a Lord, you can re-recruit that hero later on in a later mission by building the Hall of Lords, which is kind of like a guild for Lord heroes. So when you select a Lord, you shouldn't just select your highest level hero, but the one with the highest potential. For example, this guy here, he's level 5, but his agility, which affects his range attack, which is important for rangers, only 14. Whereas these guys here have agility 20, so these guys here have way more potential. And this guy is probably the best ranger because he has pretty good stamina as well, which makes him more durable and gives him more hit points, etc. And all of them have pretty silly names, and a lot of them are pop culture references. Let me also check out the clerics. Yeah, I think I'm going to select this guy here. I'm probably not going to use him again, but I still like to choose good heroes as lords. And you shouldn't always choose the most powerful, because the more powerful a lord is, the more expensive he will be to rehire. So at times you're probably going to want to hire, let's say, a medium tier hero that's a bit more affordable. So let's continue. And this was the first mission, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.